Cardinals, Eudora Sports Live.
Van Dong in motion. The give is to Moody. Moody ducks down and dives in. He's standing over the ball. He's going to take it quickly. Looking across the field, and he's got it! It's Jude Whalen. And now Addy Hephill puts it away for the Cards. They'll take a 2-set lead. Hendrickson in motion, give to Duncan. Duncan, and he trucks the safety. Is he in?
It's time for the Cardinals on your home for Eudora High School Athletics, Eudora Sports Live.
All right, welcome in here to the Fort Scott Community College pregame show. It is opening day here for the Eudora Cardinals and a beautiful day for baseball. The Cardinals will be taking on the Tonganoxie Chieftains here, and it is a game in Eudora. Last year, these teams met. It was Eudora's opener, but just as it is this year, as it was last year, it was not Tonganoxie's opener. But last year, when they met, the Cardinals got the win over the Chieftains 5-0. The Chieftains come in 1-1. They played a couple games at the Jerry Helm Memorial Air Capital Classic, and they had their season started with a 5-3 win over Trinity Academy from Wichita. But then their most recent game, they got mercy ruled 19-8 by Augusta High School. Only 6 innings that game lasted. That was only 3 days ago as well. This Chieftains team went 16-12 last year. They were regional 4A champions. The Cards last year went 7-15, so they didn't do a whole lot of winning, but they did win this matchup. Another edition of the Battle of 212. Hayden's what we've deemed this one. And the Cards come in with one player, Braden Decker, that was an all-state honorable mention last year. This Chieftains team comes in with quite a few players that had some accolades. Merrick Davenport, first-team All-League and second-team All-State as a pitcher. They've got Bodie Maslak, who was second-team All-League in the outfield. Morenz, an honorable mention in the outfield. And Dorn, their catcher, was an honorable mention as well within All-League play. So they've got some star players returning. They've got some star power as well. The Cards will have some real stuff to deal with, but last year they were able to get a win to start their season. Is opening day for the Cards here. We are only moments away from first pitch. It'll be myself, Reed McAvoy, Hayden Harves. Alongside me, we're going to take a quick break here before this game gets going.
At Kansas Insurance, we know one size doesn't fit all. In fact, our whole mindset is based on customized policies for you and your families. We're local, and we do what we do because we care about you. Think of us as brokers for your insurance needs. Working with Kansas Insurance gets you the award-winning service and attention to detail that only an independent agency can provide. All across Kansas, we're here to help you manage and plan for all types of risk. Contact a local agent today. Kansas Insurance. Local, independent, serving you.
All right, welcome in here. It is Maslak to lead things off for the Chieftains, who will have to deal with Decker on the mound for the Cards. First pitch is high for a ball, and the Cardinals baseball season is underway here in Eudora. I always love baseball. It's a great sport, and I love opening day especially. It's just a great feeling that you're going to get to enjoy baseball for however many months it is, as this one fouled off by Maslak, excuse me. Looking at his stats, of course, only through 2 games. In fact, this would be his first AB here on the year. And they've got him leading off. Takes that one in the zone, 1-2. A great pitch from Decker.
Yeah, Decker doing a really good job to get things leading off here for the Cards early on. As you mentioned, opening day, the vibes are high. The atmosphere is pretty hot here in Eudora, so the start here early on.
Here's the 1-2. That one bounces in the dirt, so the count evens to apiece.
Yeah, trying to stay up on the count early, Decker was. He's fallen back even here, but as you mentioned, such a highlight pitcher in the last couple of years for the Cards that he's never going to be an easy matchup on the mound for whatever batter has to face him.
And that one, a little bit of a half-hearted swing, and it will be called for a ball. Maslak wasn't quite sure if that was going to be the case or not.
I can't read his mind, but I can tell he may have had a tinge of that one going a different direction.
And this one will be ripped to right and foul ball. So we've got a full count here to the leadoff hitter. Decker and Maslak doing battle here. The full count pitch taken, and he is punched out. The first batter of the season for the Cards, or for the Cards defensively, is sat down. A backwards K sends Maslak back to the dugout.
Yeah, and it's a good start to the day for Decker as well. A few more pitches than he may have wanted to start his day off with, but nonetheless, always going to be happy to walk away sitting down the first batter of the day, assuming the strongest in the order. But this Chieftains team, as you brought up on the records, previous seasons, they have no shortage of dangerous players offensively.
And now standing in and taking a strike is Morenz. Morenz on the season, only 7 ABs thus far, hitting .429. He's also worked a walk, stolen a couple bases as well. And that one taken in there for strike 2.
Going to be something to watch for, but in order to work some of that base stealing prowess, you got to be able to get there first. Decker's put himself in a really good spot, up 2-0 here.
That one taken high for a ball. A good start here to the game for Decker. Striking out the leadoff hitter. Got ahead 0-2 here, now in a 1-2 count against Morenz. And that one taken high as well, so the count now evens.
Bit of a trend maybe, his second on the day. Jump ahead early, gets evened up, but as long as you pitch well down the stretch, you're not going to care too much about how things roll. Had to get out of the way.
Duck out of the way, and that was a bit of an interesting way to end up avoiding that pitch. It was sort of at the midsection, and he managed to get below it, so once again, the count runs full. And now they're going to talk things over. He thinks that that one might have gotten a piece of his batter.
Never hurts to ask about it. As you said, he did manage to get out of the way, but that may not be the first option a lot of batters would go with to get out of the way of that particular pitch.
And now he's going to talk it over with the umpire. They might be asking, hey, did you hear anything on that one? Because he didn't necessarily see it all the way.
No,
but
certainly didn't see a big reaction.
And they are going to award him first base. So they say that that one must have caught a piece of him. So he lost the batter who was in a 2-2 count, takes first base. So that puts a runner on here with one down.
Now batting for Tonganoxie, shortstop number 1, Everett Holland.
Now, as we mentioned, some of that potential stealing base prowess for Morenz, he's going to get to have an opportunity to work some of that now. Decker certainly going to be feeling like maybe shouldn't have the batter on base, but nonetheless, he's going to start off up 1-0, up 0-1 here.
So now Holland steps in. He's got a 200 batting average thus far on the season, but also has a home run to his name as there's a check over at first. Diving back in safe is Morenz.
Nothing wrong with getting the mound, thinking about it a little bit early on, even if you don't plan to take the shot here early.
Holland has also made a couple pitching appearances thus far for the Chieftains. That is a swing there on the attempted check, but he couldn't hold back. So again, Decker up 0-2.
It's been a really hot starts for him today. He's done a really good job staying ahead, which even if the count evens later, that's always going to be a favorable spot for a pitcher to be in if he can give himself that cushion early.
Out of the stretch and gets the swing and miss. A second strikeout in the inning for Decker. That time the batter goes down hacking on 3 pitches. So now there are 2 down, still that runner over at first.
Now batting for the Chieftains, catcher number 13, Baron Dorn.
So that brings in Baron Dorn. He was honorable mention all league last year at the catcher position. And again, Decker gets ahead. He's done a great job staying ahead in the count. Thus far, he has thrown 16 pitches. 10 of them have been 4 strikes.
Yeah, and for the sake of longevity, you're always going to be excited as a pitcher to be able to keep your pitch counts fairly low early on in a game like this.
Ooh, that one close, but called a ball. There's also Morenz dancing over there at first, trying to make sure Decker doesn't forget about him. Dorn hitting .429 thus far on the young season. And that one outside. So if I'm not mistaken, for the first time, well, no, we've had the couple full counts, but the batter ahead now 2-1.
Yeah, that is the first time today that within a few pitchers. The batter's found himself ahead of the junior.
Yeah, we had
Decker.
that exact count. And this 2-1 pitch is hit out to right field. Tracking it is Brunin, and he will bring it in. So that strands the runner at first and ends the inning. Some great work from Decker on the mound. The Cards sit the Chieftains down in the top of the first, and now they will be coming up to bat after this.
Are you looking for a trusted partner in pet care? Look no further than Eudora Animal Hospital, proudly serving Eudora and the surrounding area since 1975. Eudora Animal Hospital offers a wide range of services, including wellness exams, surgeries, routine vaccinations, and emergency care.
I just want to thank everybody in the community for trusting us with the care of their animals, and go Cards!
Schedule an appointment by calling 785-542-3265 or visit eudoravet.com.
At Kansas Insurance, we know one size doesn't fit all. In fact, our whole mindset is based on customized policies for you and your families. We're local, and we do what we do because we care about you. Think of us as brokers for your insurance needs. Working with Kansas Insurance gets you the award-winning service and attention to detail that only an independent agency can provide. All across Kansas, we're here to help you manage and plan for all types of risk. Contact a local agent today. Kansas Insurance. Local, independent, serving you.
More time before you wake up in the wild.
Our natural world needs us now. Step by step, side by side, together, we can find a way to ensure that all life on Earth can thrive. To learn more about how you can help protect and conserve nature, visit nature.org.
For the best care for your pet, choose DeSoto Veterinary Clinic. Dr. Matt Fair and his team are dedicated to providing high-quality medical care with compassion and a personal touch. They treat every pet as their own, ensuring they receive the attention and respect they deserve. For routine checkups, testing, vaccinations, chiropractic and acupuncture care, or surgical services, you can trust Dr. Fair and his team at DeSoto Veterinary Clinic. Call 913-585-1115 to schedule an appointment today or visit DeSotoVetClinic.com.
All right, welcome back in here. Bottom of the first. It will be Klein to lead things off for the Cardinals. And this, as it is their first game of the year, we do not have any batting averages or anything like that just yet. This is the first AB for any Cardinal on this young season.
Leading off for the Cardinals, shortstop number 24, Jack Klein.
With Bartlett, who had a very eventful first start of the season. We'll talk more about that after this first pitch, which is taken outside for a ball. Bartlett started that game that ended up being that 19-8 Mercy Rule loss. He only threw 10 pitches before he was pulled from that start, as this one is fouled back. He walked 2 batters, and then he was pulled from the game after that. Only threw 2 strikes, 8 balls, and a home run later given up by Holland, who came in. Those 2 runners counted against Bartlett. So he currently is running with an infinite ERA because he has not recorded any outs, yet he has allowed 2 runs. So I've got the equation on my spreadsheet here is saying you can't divide by 0. Right. That leaves him with an infinite ERA. He will hope to get better, but he is behind 3-1 here as Klein has to duck out of the way. But if he can just record 1 out, he will no longer have an infinite ERA.
Well, Klein's going to do everything he can to make him wait just a little bit longer forward, of course. Up on the order, as you said.
That one in there. Count goes full.
Early full counts here on a really nice afternoon and evening for some baseball. Don't think any of these fans are complaining about it.
The 3-2 is taken low, and for the all 3 batters that Bartlett has faced this season, he has walked.
For Eudora,
the ERA remains
fielder,
infinite for at least one more.
Number 17, Max McCleary.
So now it is McCleary, the center fielder, stepping in. And this one gets away from the catcher, but not enough for Klein to think about trying to advance on it. The 1-0. That one also crossed up Dorn a little bit. So it goes 2-0. Of the 18 pitches Bartlett's thrown this season, only 4 have been for strikes thus far, but that one will get a swing and miss to get the count back to 2-1.
Maybe unfortunate for McCleary, got to think. He hadn't really seen one he could swing at yet. That one may have gone in his favor again if he would have let it go by.
He'll step off.
Yep. Klein keeping himself front and center in the mind of Bartlett.
The 2-1. That one misses, and Bartlett puts a hand out saying, how did that one miss? Up, it's 3-1. Bartlett in danger of walking his 4th consecutive batter this season and the 2nd consecutive to start the game. He winds and deals, and it's swing and miss from McCleary. That one might have been ball 4 otherwise, but the count once again is full.
Yeah, certainly not making it a whole lot easier on himself as Bartlett when you start giving the batter 2 free balls early on, but he's done a good job to bring himself back closer to even.
And that one is in there. He's punched out is McCleary, and Bartlett can breathe a sigh of relief. He has recorded it out this year.
It's a good thing. Feels maybe insignificant as early as the season as it is, but you never want to go
so
game after game without one.
His ERA, you'll love to know, is now 140, which is infinitely better than infinite.
That is much better than infinite.
And a check over the runner at first. That was close, but he is called safe. So we've got the pitcher up. Decker hitting for himself here. There's a DH in the lineup in place of Brunin, the right fielder. But Decker in the 3 spot here, batting for himself. And he was unsure what he wanted to do with that one. Didn't end up swinging, but it was in the zone.
And maybe should have. You got to think first game of the season, too, no matter how many practice reps you've got and how many swings you've taken. Processing may not be quite where you want it early on here.
Yeah, something about that one really did cross him up. He was almost falling out of the batter's box in the end.
Yep. That is the kind of thing, though, that you expect as the season goes on. It's just going to continue to improve game after game.
The 1-1 high. Dorn looks Klein back over at first. These Chieftains have a really effective pitcher in Merrick Davenport, but he pitched 105 pitches only 3 days ago. So that one fouled. So you don't know what his timeline is on getting back on the mound, but imagine they need to let him rest up, get some ice on the arm.
You'd want to wait at least a little bit. Off over 100 pitches, just 72 hours removed.
So we've got a 2-2 pitch here. And first is going to be another check over on Klein, who dives safely.
So Card's not the only ones to do it on offense tonight. Chieftains have already given it a peek, but Klein is doing a good job to maintain that spot in Davenport's mind, and Bartlett rather.
And this one again, Dorn keeps it in front. Klein will take off for second, and he will get there on that wild pitch. So the count goes full, and there's now a runner in scoring position. You may have seen Bartlett go towards Dorn and say, "That's my bad." 3rd time that Dorn has had to just keep it in front of him. He's done a good job to do so, but that time Klein saw enough daylight between the catcher and the ball that he felt comfortable swiping second. The full count pitch outside. There will be runners at first and second. It's a 4th walk this year issued by Bartlett.
Yeah, you saw with the apology, definitely wasn't intentional, but a handful of lower pitches that You've sent your catcher chasing in Dorn. It's not quite ideal, but they haven't paid any major price for it yet, aside from, of course, Klein sitting in scoring position here.
Base, number 10, Matthew Arons.
A good opportunity to try to get on the board here for the Cards. Still early on in the batting order.
First pitch here is a ball. Standing in is Cooper Burling. And a swing and a miss there. And again, this one getting away from Dorn. I don't know if he and Bartlett are not on the same page or Bartlett's just not controlling his pitches how he wants, but Dorn is having to do a lot of work behind the plate right now. Arons is running at first base in place of Decker. And again, that one well outside.
Dorn having to do a fair bit of work, which especially early on in the game is never going to be something you're thrilled about. But again, although the Chieftains have had more reps than the Cardinals, it's still very early on in their season.
Well, yeah,
but no way Bartlett's happy with some of these pitches.
The 15-year manager, Coach Loomis, is not against pulling Bartlett early, as he took him out after only 10 pitches last time, and you might have to think about it here.
It's going to load him up.
He is just really struggling to control his pitches, let alone find the zone. And there is now at least going to be a mound visit here. We'll see if Bartlett's day will get to continue. He has walked 3 batters. He did get that 1 strikeout for the only out today thus far registered by the Chieftains.
Yeah, even if you've gotten the 1 early, though, a 3-to-1 ratio for your walks to your strikeouts is never going to be something management's going to be thrilled about. And as you said, we've already seen the example this year alone. Coach Loomis is not necessarily opposed to that pull early on.
It'll be Grado next for the Cards, and it will just be a pep talk here. They want to leave Bartlett out there. They want him to figure this out. They need some extra arms this season. Davenport and Holland are the 2 names that they will stick with the most on the mound, but they need to get some other arms they can rely on. That was something that their manager, Coach Loomis, talked about in a preseason interview with Prep Baseball, that he needs to find some middle arms for this team, but their best pitchers he trusts implicitly. He thinks that they are going to be a great team with those guys on the mound. Swing and miss from Grado. The Cards can count themselves lucky here that these Chieftains have already started their season, so they're not facing that ace in Davenport.
Absolutely. Well, and that and the fact that off the previous handful of ABs, any significant contact with a swing here could very well put the Cards up early on here in the first.
It is quickly 0-2 on Grado with the bases loaded. Still only 1 down. Can the Chieftains try and preserve this 0-0 tie? That one goes across the face of Dorn.
And Dorn again having to stay very active behind the plate. The movement, particularly to his right, has been plenty so far.
Robson waits on deck for the Cards. The 1-2 taken outside. Bartlett has thrown 27 pitches thus far. He has walked 3, struck out 1. Has to deal with the bases loaded here. That one is close and in there. Another strikeout looking. So Grado goes down and the bases are loaded, but now with 2 down.
And you'd really love to do anything but squander this opportunity if you're the Cards, because you just don't know how long those missed controls at pitching are going to continue.
Number 14, Cam Robson.
You never want to leave 3 of them up on base, but pitching has been just good enough for the Chieftains to avoid giving up a run.
I owe it to Bartlett to say that I had calculated his ERA wrong. I inserted 0.1 instead of 0.3. It was infinite coming in, but it was not 140 up until then. It was at 42. It's now at 21 after getting that second strikeout. It's the difference of you you call it 0.1 of an inning because it's 1 out of 3, but when I entered in my spreadsheet, I need to enter it as a third. It's nerd stuff anyway. But I owe it to him. I've been talking about his astronomical ERA.
We've talked about it enough.
Yeah, I should give him credit where it is due.
Sure.
And he has struck out 2 batters along with those 3 walks. It's 0-2 here on Robson. And he is going to get out of the bases loaded jam. Very good job by Bartlett. He does end up striking out the side along with 3 walks, but no one comes across. It is still 0-0 as we head to the second.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here as part of Fort Scott Community College's John Deere Tech program. Maybe you belong here as part of the perennial playoff-bound Greyhound baseball team. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College. At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here, studying animal science or learning about farm and ranch management. Maybe you belong here as part of Hounds Hoops on the hardwood. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
Prescription drug pricing points to corporate
Freedom of the press is about your right to know. It's about your right to be informed. Today, there are real threats to press freedom and your right to know about the world around us. We must protect our right to know, no matter what kind of news is important to you. Before it's too late, understand the threats. ProtectPressFreedom.org.
All right, well, the Cardinals got the bases loaded with 1 out, but they could not do anything with it. So it is 0-0 here as we head to the second inning. It will be the catcher, Dorn, leading things off for the Chieftains. A fun start here, but nothing to show for it on the scoreboard just yet here, Hayden.
Not quite. And the next AB the Tonganoxie Chieftains have up is Dorn, who's already done quite a bit of moving tonight. The legs are warmed up. So he had a fair bit of movement behind the plate on his last run at catcher.
He is hitting .429 on the year coming in through 7 ABs, 3 hits, couple runs driven in.
And as you mentioned, coming off a very nice recovery on the pitching side of things for the Chieftains. Bartlett keeping himself somehow out of a loaded bases jam without giving up a single run. That one close inside to Dorn, but called in.
That one well outside, bounces to the backstop 2-2. This is actually Davenport at the plate here rather than Dorn. Davenport playing over at first base today. That one outside. Count goes full. Really dangerous pitcher, but hitting .167 thus far through all of 6 ABs, so don't put too much stock in that. Count is full here on the first baseman. That one high inside, and it will be a leadoff walk to start the second for the Chieftains.
Yeah, I guess we should probably preface that not necessarily any of these batting numbers and percentages are to be taken with a ton of weight as early as we are in.
So Marcoulier stands in. That's Marcouillier. Marcoulier.
I'm just glad you pronounced the name before I had to try.
He's getting 250 on the year. He was their leadoff batter for both of their first 2 games this season, but he has been dropped down to the 6th spot for this game. That one bounces in front of Robson. Had Davenport got a better run on that, a read on that one, I think he would have tried to swipe second.
And the peek over towards first. Coming again here from Decker.
And that one is called for strike 3. So Marcoulier is sat down for out number 1.
Now batting for Tonganoxie, second baseman, number 14, Tough Rush.
Up next comes the freshman, Tough Rush, for his first debut of the day.
And this one gets away from Robson. Taking off is Davenport, and he is going to get in there safely and snag second on that wild pitch.
That second base umpire did a good job to get out of the way of that one. That ball almost had him in a little bit of a jam. But everyone does escape cleanly over on the back end.
So that puts a runner in scoring position. Things went very similarly for the Cardinals in the previous half inning. They ended up loading the bases with 1 down and not being able to get anything out of it. The Chieftains here with a runner on second, 1 out. What can they do? The pitch to Rush. And he tries to hold back, but the home plate ump says, "You win." That's strike 1. Rush coming in with a .333 batting average and 6 trips to the plate. He has, actually it's 6 at-bats. He's also walked 3 times and homered. So he comes in with a .500 on-base percentage.
And that home run threat is going to be welcome for the Chieftains here early. Of course, with the 1 runner in scoring position. Feels like the kind of game where potentially any runs early on could lead you down the stretch for a good portion of this one.
And Rush puts a drive into this one. That one will go out into right center. Rounding third is Davenport. He will come in to score. It's an RBI hit for the Chieftains, and they grab the lead here. You wouldn't have expected that one in the previous half inning.
No, would not have. That was a beautiful hit from Rush, too. Well over the heads of the second baseman and dropped well shy of the outfielders. So a nice hit to give the Chieftains the first advantage of the day.
Now batting for the Chieftains.
Rush with his 4th RBI on the year, his 3rd hit. And Davenport coming around to score for Tonganoxie. They have the lead here, and then now Beal gets into this one. Popped out to the shortstop, Klein, and he's going to double off the runner and end the inning.
Nice work
Rush
for the
fell
Cards.
asleep over at first base, and he gets doubled back at first, and that double play will end the inning. The Chieftains take the lead. Cards coming up in the bottom half of the second.
Charlie was born at LMH. We had a great team of nurses. Not only did they check in on us regularly, they always asked if we had questions, always made sure that we understood what was going on. I cannot say enough wonderful things about the labor and delivery, family birthing, and mother baby care team at LMH Health. Charlie was born at LMH. We had a great team of nurses. Not only did they check in on us regularly, they always asked if we had questions, always made sure that we understood what was going on. I cannot say enough wonderful things about the labor and delivery, family birthing, and mother baby care team at LMH Health. We had to put our entire trust into their hands, and just everyone was so friendly and so supportive.
your home for live, local sports. Varsity Sports Live delivers professional level coverage with high-quality video and broadcasters that know your schools and community.
Touchdown, Tonganoxie!
With the support of local businesses, you never pay to watch varsity sports. Live, local, free high school sports coverage. That's Varsity Sports Live.
Rasp gets it away. Moore's down the middle. And he makes the catch in the end zone. Touchdown, Trojans!
Keep up with the action at varsitysportslive.com. Live, local, free high school sports.
All right, back in here, bottom of the second. It will be 7, 8, and 9 for the Cardinals. Giffen digging in still against Bartlett, who threw 31 pitches in that first inning. Faced 6 batters, gave up no hits, but walked 3 and struck out 3. Stranded the bases loaded, and now finds himself out on top. But he trails in the count here against Giffen.
Yeah, call it skill, call it fortune, whatever you want to call him, getting out of that loaded base situation. He definitely got it, definitely happened, and it'll be sitting on the mind of all these Cards hitters who have got to be feeling confident that they can drive the ball out, but also knowing the ability Bartlett has shown today to get himself out of a jam.
Count goes 2-1. Bartlett is yet to give up a hit this year because every batter that's reached against him has done it by way of the walk, and then everyone else he's faced has struck out. Count 3-1 here. Have to think the take sign might be on for Giffen. And he does take that one. It was a nice pitch in the right side of the zone. Count is full. A familiar story in this game, and specifically for Bartlett. The 3-2. Taken, strike 3, a 4th K for Bartlett.
Almost seemed like that one took Giffen off guard a little bit. Didn't think that one would be
now batting
in the zone or in any kind of danger for him.
Number 9.
Bartlett, despite maybe looking a little bit shaky early on, has done a really good job to recover back here.
Well, he seems to be what is becoming more and more of a common archetype for baseball pitchers, which is someone that's got a lot of speed, someone that's tough to deal with, but they also don't have great control. They're just kind of hoping they can hit the zone or get something by you. But when they do, there's nothing you can really do about it.
For sure. And he's had a couple of those today. That one is dinged off and up.
This is Arnold, who is going to be designated hitting here in place of Quinn Brunin. He is behind 0-2 after the foul off. Bartlett will step off the mound.
Arnold, the sophomore, doing some shopping here. Bottom of the second.
The 0-2, swing and miss, and all 5 outs for Bartlett have come by way of the K. That one only took him 3 pitches that time, not messing around with full counts or anything like that. He might have found the zone here, which could be real bad news for the Cards.
Yeah, not a bit, and especially with the Chieftains grabbing that slim advantage, but a lead in the top of the second. Bartlett's starting to find his groove. Would be a real issue unless some of these Cards hitters can find a way to match him with some explosiveness of their own.
Second baseman Ross steps in. The 9-hitter for the Cards, trying to turn the lineup over. The 2-0 pitch is swung on and missed.
Ross caught a little bit of a sight on that one, chased it just a little too far.
And gets a piece of that one, so the count evens.
Bartlett does seem to have found that zone a fair bit more consistently here. These pitches definitely not completely out of harm's way, but he has done a really good job to make them tricky to find for every Cards hitter so far here in the second.
Here's the 2-2 coming home. Swung on and missed. 6 strikeouts for Bartlett. The Chieftains will take their lead into the 3rd inning.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here, preparing for a career in healthcare as part of Fort Scott Community College's nursing program. Or maybe you belong on stage as part of the Hounds band or theater department. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
Are you looking for a trusted partner in pet care? Look no further than Eudora Animal Hospital, proudly serving Eudora and the surrounding area since 1975. Eudora Animal Hospital offers a wide range of services, including wellness exams, surgeries, routine vaccinations, and emergency care.
I just want to thank everybody in the community for trusting us with the care of their animals, and go Dogs!
Schedule an appointment by calling 785-542-3265 or visit eudoravet.com.
For the best care for your pet, choose DeSoto Veterinary Clinic. Dr. Matt Fair and his team are dedicated to providing high-quality medical care with compassion and a personal touch. They treat every pet as their own, ensuring they receive the attention and respect they deserve. For routine checkups, testing, vaccinations, chiropractic and acupuncture care, or surgical services, you can trust Dr. Fair and his team at DeSoto Veterinary Clinic. Call 913-585-1115 to schedule an appointment.
All right, top of the 3rd here.
Tonganoxie, pitcher number 12, Landon Bartlett.
It will be their pitcher hitting for himself. Bartlett will swing and miss. He has really turned his day around after being unable to register and out for a while there, loading the bases. He has struck out 6 Cardinals. All 6 outs that he has registered.
Decker trying to give him a little piece of his own medicine here, though.
Bartlett had a 2-for-3 game in their big loss most recently, only 3 days ago.
Decker doing a good job to find him in some tough spots here.
Yeah, a bit of an ugly swing there from Bartlett, now down 1-2. Here is the 1-2 from Decker. Taken for a ball. Decker through 2 innings has allowed 1 hit, 1 earned run, walked 1 batter, struck out 3. He also hit 1 batter. The 2-2 outside, count full in this pitching duel here.
Yeah, an interesting matchup. You know, Bartlett is going to be one of those hitters who's going to be pretty confident, but Decker hasn't given him a whole lot to see that he's loved yet.
The full count pitch hit over to third, foul.
So Bartlett does survive to see another pitch.
And this one will be hit high to right field. Brunin trying to fight against the sun, settles under it, brings it in for the first out.
So the win on the pitching duel the first time around for Decker on the mound does go his way.
So the lineup turns back over.
Right fielder number 2, Maslak.
To Maslak, who last year was second team All-League. He struck out looking in a full count situation to start this game.
That was his freshman season last year too. Extremely impressive for the young hitter. Has to duck to get out of the way of that one.
I don't even listen to it very often anymore because I'm tired of them just beating a dead horse.
The 2-0 to Bodie Maslak again. Has to duck below that one. So now it is 3-0
Which means now Maslak has a couple of swings to play with, but he'll let that one roll by and gets himself a strike.
He's got a hitter's count here, but you want to see if you might try and just take it to make Decker prove he can find the zone, but if he does, maybe you do pull the trigger. Let's see here, the 3-1, he does go around on that one and actually caught a piece of it. Fouled it back into a full count situation, the same situation that Maslak struck out in to begin this game. Back from 3-0 to 3-2, the full count pitch is fouled to the right.
So he does survive it, but Decker trying to make a little bit of history repeat itself here. He'd love to get himself another K and get the potentially dangerous Maslak out of the box.
The full count offering once more. Taken, and he's punched out. Umpire thought about it for a good minute, but Maslak has been sat down on strikes twice.
Now batting
You know, if you're Decker, you don't want to have AB after AB where you're running up full counts, but a lot of them have been able to go his way here, so you wouldn't be too upset about it, especially early on in the season. You got time to rest up between games.
He's up to 47 now, 48 pitches as this one called a ball to Morenz, who was hit by the pitch in his first trip. This one is hit very high. It might not even get out of the infield. Burling settles under it and brings that one in, and that will end the inning with the high pop out on the infield from Morenz. So it is still 1-0 to Tongi.
For the best care for your pet, choose DeSoto Veterinary Clinic. Dr. Matt Fair and his team are dedicated to providing high-quality medical care with compassion and a personal touch. They treat every pet as their own, ensuring they receive the attention and respect they deserve. For routine checkups, testing, vaccinations, chiropractic and acupuncture care, or surgical services, you can trust Dr. Fair and his team at DeSoto Veterinary Clinic. Call 913-585-1115 to schedule an appointment today or visit DeSotoVetClinic.com.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong?
Maybe you belong here, studying animal science or learning about farm and ranch management. Maybe you belong here as part of Helms Hoops on the hardwood. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
Your home for live.
All right, back in here for the bottom of the third. It will be the top of the order for the Cardinals. That is Klein, McCleary, and Decker. They will try to actually get across the plate this time around. They did do well collectively to load the bases with only one out. They could not get a run across. They will still work against Bartlett, who's up around 45 pitches now. And he's worked that ERA down to a flat 7 through 2 innings of work, 6 strikeouts.
Which, as you mentioned, a 7 is still not great, but for where he started, he has made infinite gains.
Well, and I'll tell you, he had to do a lot of work, especially with the game he started with, to have more strikeouts than walks on the year, which he does now have.
Absolutely.
6-5, that ratio. Klein in his first trip walked.
Makes contact with that one, pokes it off.
Down 0-2 here. Starting to get a little bit shadier out. It's about 64 degrees right now. Got the floodlights on. The 0-2 taken, and he is punched out. Klein sat down on strikes, and that is 7 strikeouts for Bartlett.
And Bartlett continues to pick up the heat a bit here, doing something we praised Decker for early on, putting himself in really good, favorable spots early on in each AB, and he's done that quite a bit here through the second and now the third inning.
So now McCleary, he struck out looking in his first trip. He connects with this one. That's going to go out of play, foul to the left side. Bartlett done a really good job to find the strike zone. He's up to 55% of his pitches have been strikes. This next one will be his 50th offering. Cards have to be a little bit stunned at how well he has turned his performance around just within this game and then within this still very young season. And for Bartlett, he's going to feel great. But this one from McCleary goes, and there's going to be the first hit for the Cards. And McCleary will hold up at first, and it will be a one-out single. The first hit of the day for Eudora.
And that one was very well hit.
Pitcher number 25.
Just along the right foul line, but he does keep it in. And as you said, getting a hit there against the very well recovering now Bartlett, who went from somebody the Cards might have been very excited to play against today, all of a sudden to a stout opposition on the mound. But a hit there, you think, to loosen things up a fair bit for the entire hitting lineup. Cards will hope for that momentum to continue here.
So the pitcher, Decker, who walked in his first trip, fouls that one back. McCleary takes his lead at first. And he was twitching towards second base, so Bartlett will keep him honest over there.
McCleary is right up again, threatening. We'll draw an early glance from Bartlett again.
The 0-1, and McCleary does take off. The pitch is taken, and the throw down is bad and wide, so McCleary will swipe second. They called the pitch a strike, but McCleary does steal the base. And it wasn't a fantastic throw down from that honorable mention all-league catcher, Dorn.
It was not, so Bartlett does go up 0-2 on this AV, but at what cost? As the speedy McCleary now finds himself in scoring position.
He is ahead here, 0-2 though on the pitcher. Could look for his 8th out by way of the strikeout. The 0-2. And this one's going to get away from Dorn. McCleary had a bad read on it, but he will still go ahead and grab third. He wasn't sure for a second there if Dorn had it under control or not, but in the end is able to move up to third base, and now just a fly ball would be able to tie this game.
And Decker could do just that. He's already won this matchup on the other side of the mound once today.
The 1-2, taken, strike three, a huge strike three, 8 Ks for Bartlett, and there are now 2 down, so a fly ball will not tie this game. They need to drive in McCleary from third.
Now batting for the Cardinals,
really clutch pitching. The last inning and a half or so from Bartlett
is ridiculous.
He's recovered unbelievably well today. And again, you meant the first handful of ABs, it looked like the Cards had gotten a gift today. And that one's going to go back to third.
And they throw over to third. He's out.
Wow.
The pick back on McCleary, and the Cardinals again cannot score with runners in scoring position, as then out on the base paths mean they can't get the run home from third. It's still 1-0. We go to the 4th.
Your home for live, local sports. Varsity Sports Live delivers professional level coverage with high-quality video and broadcasters that know your schools and community.
Touchdown, Tonganoxie!
With the support of local businesses, you never pay to watch varsity sports. Live, local, free high school sports coverage. That's Varsity Sports Live.
Grass gets it away. Moore's down the middle. And he makes the catch in the end zone. Touchdown, Trojans!
Keep up with the action at varsitysportslive.com. Live, local, free high school sports.
points to corporate mountain.
Freedom of the press is about your right to know.
And Clark sheer athleticism.
It's about your right to be informed. Today, there are real threats to press freedom.
Reaching residential areas?
And your right to know about the world around us. We must protect our right to know, no matter what kind of news is important to you. Before it's too late, understand the threats. ProtectPressFreedom.org.
All right, top of the fourth here. The Cardinals have been threatening, but have not been able to get anything across. They trail by one. And now it'll be Holland digging in the shortstop. It'll be 3, 4, and 5. Holland, Dorn, Davenport for the Chieftains. 50th pitch from Decker is a ball. Holland in his first trip struck out swinging. Another ball. Decker was doing a really good job of getting ahead in the count early in this game. That has not been the case as of late, as he falls behind 3-0 here to a batter that he was able to strike out the first time around.
And Holland now quite a bit more freedom from the hitter's box than he had the first time around against Decker.
And that one will miss a 4-pitch walk to start the inning. Never how you like to get things going in a half inning.
No, and he's certainly not going to be striking 13, a lot of fear into the hearts of these next couple of Tongi hitters. As the senior Baron Dorn, the next up to try Decker.
So the catcher, Dorn, digs in and he hits this one, and that one will drop out there off the glove of McCleary. Holland takes the turn at second, heads to third. Also going for second is Dorn. So there will be 2 in scoring position with none away after that hit from the catcher, Dorn.
Man, that was a really, really nice hit. I mean, he put that in maybe the only position of that center outfield where he could have felt good about it dropping. And it does, and it would have taken a freakish recovery from the Cards to prevent that one from going the way it did in terms of bases. Chieftains have really cleaned things up here, Reed, in all aspects of their game. From the pitching to the hitting, done a really good job to put themselves in a position to extend their 1-run lead here.
Davenport digging in a clutch spot here. Decker steps off, wants to get the call. He is a KCC commit. And his brother, Mason Davenport, recently signed with the Blue Jays, which was a huge accomplishment for Coach Loomis and everybody from Tonganoxie baseball. Mason Davenport went to KCC, then also to Stetson School in Florida, the Atlantic Sun Conference champions 2024 and 2025, and a school that has also produced 4 Cy Young winners. And that is a Tonganoxie grad, Mason Davenport, signing with the Blue Jays as an undrafted free agent.
That's awesome.
That one ripped foul. Merrick Davenport stands 6'6", 215. He is their ace pitcher, but he's required to rest another day with those 105 pitches he threw 3 days ago. That's the maximum you're allowed, and then you have to wait 4 days. So he will be back in action at the next available opportunity, but that is not today. Another step off here, and now they're going to talk things over, Robson and Decker. Big spot here with no outs, runners at second and third. Very unfavorable position for Decker, but if he can get the first out here, that would be a big first step towards trying to escape the jam.
Absolutely, and we've already seen Bartlett on the other side of the mound for the Chieftains get himself out of a heck of a jam earlier. So certainly no stranger to witnessing it on this very pitch tonight. But Decker finds himself with a lot of work to do here, facing Davenport.
The 1-2 will bounce in front of Robson. Does a good job to keep it in front, but the count goes 2-2. Davenport has been off to a slow start at the plate, only 1 hit in 6 trips, but in terms of his stature, he's a dangerous hitter. You might think about putting him on, but with the 2 strikes, he's going to try and get him out at this point. But it would not be the worst thing to put the double play in order to force out at any base. It's not going to be what Decker wants.
No, it'd be an outcome you're okay with, but you're certainly not going to aim for it. You'd really like to give Davenport some eye candy here, something to chase to try to get him to go down swinging.
Another 2-2. Taken high, count full.
Can't tell if Decker has started to struggle a bit more with finding the zone here as of late, or just better hitting from the Chieftains side consistently forcing him off his spot just a little bit.
And that one's going to get away, and the run is going to come in and score on the wild pitch. And then the throw home gets away, and a second run will be able to come in and score, and Davenport on the backside will also grab second base. It was ball 4, a wild pitch, and then a further error allows 2 runs to score there. It is 3-0 Tonganoxie.
Man, ball 4 was already something that you had to be looking at as a loss if you were Decker, and then the error just continues to compound it.
Now batting for Tonganoxie, left fielder number 26, Zach Marcoulier.
Lightest way to put it is a rough sequence of events there for the Cards to fall down into the 3-0 hole.
So still none away, and now a runner at second with 2 runs in for Tonganoxie. Decker's pitch here is bunted back by Marcoulier. Cards have, they've been setting themselves up very well in some good situations, haven't been able to score, and now some unfortunate moments on the defensive side of things see them trailing by 3. Nothing they can't overcome at this point, but there's none away still in this inning. So they really need to try and get back to the dish without letting too much more go wrong for them.
Too much more. You could almost say any more with the way the pitching has looked from the Chieftains, and Bartlett got to think he's got at least another inning in him.
Now, isn't it interesting? We've seen the pitcher that started hot as this one's hit to short. Klein will field that one, look the runner back, and then just make the throw in time. Well done by Klein there to get out number 1. Isn't it interesting, Hayden? We've seen the pitcher who started this game hot. It felt like Decker couldn't miss, and then Bartlett couldn't find the zone. Now Bartlett has absolutely turned it on, and Decker is struggling to find the zone, but he does record that first out here, a big first step to get his team back to the plate offensively.
Well, and the good news, a part of the Cards faithful, is that if you see the turnaround once in a game, you can almost count on the possibility of seeing it again. But that would require a fair turnaround from Decker, as he has struggled, I won't say mightily, but significantly in the recent inning or 2.
Rush digs in. He's 1 for 1.
Yeah, beautiful hit his first time around.
And this one chopped to the right side. That was similar to how he got his first hit, but that one well out of play, foul. The 0-2 to Rush. So the runner takes off for third, and then that throw well behind the batter. And Davenport will snag third. Pretty good job by Robson to adjust to that one, not let it get to the backstop. Not sure if it would have changed things, but I think the runner maybe gotten ahead of Decker there. That one really got away from him. Lucky that he didn't hit Robson. Here's the 1-2. And that one will be swung on and missed. A 5th strikeout in the game for Decker. So Rush sits down on strikes, and now there are 2 down.
Now batting for the Chieftains, third baseman number 9, Evan Beal.
So now Beal will dig in. This is his first year of varsity baseball for the Chieftains. He was on JV last year. This one popped pretty shallow, and a great play by Robson.
Really nicely done.
The one pitch out there, and the Cards do stop the bleeding after only 2 come across. It's 3-0 to the Chieftains.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here, preparing for a career in healthcare as part of Fort Scott Community College's nursing program. Or maybe you belong on stage as part of the Hounds band or theater department. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
Charlie was born at LMH. We had a great team of nurses. Not only did they check in on us regularly, they always asked if we had questions, always made sure that we understood what was going on. I cannot say enough wonderful things about the labor and delivery, family birthing, and mother baby care team at LMH Health. We had to put our entire trust into their hands, and just everyone was so friendly and so supportive.
More time before you wake up in the wild.
Our natural world needs us now. Step by step, side by side, together, we can find a way to ensure that all life on Earth can thrive. To learn more about how you can help protect and conserve nature, visit nature.org.
At Kansas Insurance, we know one size doesn't fit all. In fact, our whole mindset is based on customized policies for you and your families. We're local, and we do what we do because we care about you. Think of us as brokers for your insurance needs. Working with Kansas Insurance gets you the award-winning service and attention to detail that only an independent agency can provide. All across Kansas, we're here to help you manage and plan for all types of risk. Contact a local agent today. Kansas Insurance. Local, independent, serving you.
All right, so Bartlett no longer on the mound. The Chieftains do make a pitching change. A phenomenal day for Bartlett. Held the Cards scoreless through 3, but now it is Holland who's been playing shortstop, who moves on to the mound here, making his 3rd appearance on the year. Comes in with a 6.01 ERA through 2 1/3 innings of work.
Number 1, Everett Holland.
That one called in there on Burling.
So Burling does put the junior behind 0-2 and then catches a piece of that one to foul off.
Burling walked his first trip. So we got 2-2 count here, and that one is low, full count. To the 4-hitter. For the Cards, it's Burling, Grado, Robson to try and work their way back into this one, get their first run. This one hit high and foul back towards the booth, and just behind the booth, in fact. Was bracing for impact there, but it never came.
Felt like that one was going to land on us. Nonetheless, we get away. How big would it be for Holland here on his first time pitching tonight to be able to get away with a K if possible? There's no certainty, but
Holland going to be one of those arms they plan to rely on this year, as that one is going to be called in there. Strike 3, another Cardinals batter retired by the strikeout.
Now batting for Eudora, 3rd baseman number 6, Peyton Grado.
That would be 9 times that the Cardinals have struck out in this game. And this first pitch from Grado hit foul. Grado struck out looking his first time.
And the breeze starting to pick up just a little bit here. Inside the Cards baseball arena. That one Grado sidestepping to get out of the way. So the count will go 2-1.
That one is hit to right field. It looks like it's going to find its way into foul ground and out of reach of any Chieftains fielder. So the at-bat will continue with the count 2-2. Looks like, I can't be 100% sure, but it looks like in the replacements for the Chieftains, Rush went from second to third, Maslak came in from right to second, and then Provance into the game, presumably for Bartlett. The 2-2 finds its way in there. A slow curver. No. That one called a ball. I thought that was for sure going to be strike three.
Absolutely.
Had some nice dip on it, but taken. Count goes full once again, and this one hit foul from Grado.
So he keeps himself alive, but got to think Holland fairly content with the pitches that he sent Grado's way so far in this AB.
Another full count offering. That one is low. Grado will walk to first.
And he'll take it pretty emphatically.
Now batting for Eudora, catcher number 14, Cam Robson.
Cards still with only one hit in the game, but they have worked 4 walks.
Yeah, and you got to think that with the recent pitching change, although Holland has shown some nice flashes, feel decent about their odds of being able to get some hits and pull themselves right back into this one.
Robson will stand in with the runner at first. He struck out looking his first time. Dorn keeping Grado honest over at first after that one for a ball. He made a great play picking off McCleary at third to end the third.
And that was McCleary who had been grabbing bases with impunity on that specific try. Managed to catch him flat-footed, which not an easy thing to do.
Grado does take off for second here. This is a better throw down to second, and he is tagged out, caught stealing. Dorn with a much better throw down that time around. And the free base that was given to the Cardinals is wiped away, 2 down.
Yeah, and you almost wonder if the Cards were betting on that throw from Dorn being a little bit off platform again. So the first one was so doable for the Cards to grab that base that almost looked as if they tried to play into that advantage again, but Dorn did a much better job keeping that one on target.
Count 2-2 now.
Yeah, Robson goes swinging at that one too. A little bit of a chase on it.
And he puts a good swing into that one.
Nice.
That'll get up the middle and into center field. A 2-out hit for the catcher gives the Cards a bit of life here.
That was a very nice hit from Robson. Again, put it just past the shortstop in a good spot.
Left fielder number 4, Eli.
Shallow outfield.
Second hit of the game for the Cards. McCleary having the first. Robson gets the second, and that brings Giffen to the plate. Struck out looking in his first trip. And another pick back to first, and that was not a bad idea. I think that a better throw would have retired the side. Robson out on the base paths, but it bounces through into right field, and everyone will stay put.
And Robson briefly thought about taking off after the bounce, but did not go far enough to give him much to run with.
Nice curveball drops in there from Holland.
And he'll follow in the footsteps of Bartlett in his later innings and put himself in a really good spot, up 2-0 here. 2 outs on the board for the Cards.
And that one is in there. Strike 3. Another Cardinals batter down on strikes. That's 10 in the game. And they strand the runner at first. They still trail by 3 as we go to the 5th inning.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here as part of Fort Scott Community College's John Deere Tech program. Maybe you belong here as part of the perennial playoff-bound Greyhound baseball team. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
More time before you wake up in the wild.
Our natural world needs us now. Step by step, side by side, together, we can find a way to ensure that all life on Earth can thrive. To learn more about how you can help protect and conserve nature, visit nature.org.
So the Cardinals going to go back to Decker out on the mound. He's nearing 70 pitches in this game. They might try and hold him from going past 75 unless they plan on letting him rest for 4 days after this. See, I'm sure it will also potentially be based on how well he is throwing here. He's been hot and cold in this game. And speaking of hot and cold, he will come up against Bartlett, who has been cold and hot.
Number 12, Landon Bartlett.
He was cold for such a brief spell of time that you almost don't even want to say he was cold for long, because he's been hot for a whole lot longer tonight.
Designated hitter now.
So Bartlett continues to hit in place of likely of Provance, that replacement out in right field.
Does tap
and that one's
out.
actually going to be in play there, and he is going to reach with an infield hit. It seemed like maybe that one was going to go foul. Grado didn't get necessarily a fantastic read on it, and Bartlett ends up reaching. Yeah, it was also a bit of a poor throw towards first. So Bartlett is on.
Don't think Grado was quite able to get a good hand to it either. Actually bobbled it off his glove, so he wasn't able to get the throw quite as well as he wanted.
So the leadoff runner on for the Chieftains here. We're still with that 3-run lead, maybe looking to add to it. They've got 3 hits as a team. Check on Bartlett, back safely. The 1-0 is going to be bunted by Maslak back to Decker, who fields it with the bare hand underarms, and they get the out at first. So the sacrifice hit there from Maslak moves Bartlett into scoring position.
Fielder, number 8, Jacob Moran.
Yeah, the Chieftains do have the luxury here of being a little bit more, certainly can't call it reckless, but aggressive for sure. Being able to sacrifice that first out and get aggressive from that first scoring position spot.
So Morenz will hit this one out to right center. Is this one going to have a chance to drop? It is going to drop in there. Bartlett was unsure whether that was going to be grabbed or not, so he did not end up advancing, but it will be a hit there, putting runners at first and second.
Now batting the shortstop, number 1, Everett Holland. Correction, pitcher.
So now the shortstop turned pitcher, Holland, digs in. Bartlett having allowed 2 hits in the inning. One of them very ugly and one of them very nice. At least nicely placed. Actually, they're kind of both a little ugly, to be honest.
Right. At the end of the day, hits go down as hits regardless.
Holland struck out swinging the first time, walked in his second trip.
I know. But if you can't see,
No.
Decker steps off, make sure everyone's staying put. was a point in only the first inning where you felt like everything was going right for the Cardinals, and it has tipped the other way since then. Not too dramatically in terms of runs on the board, but momentum has certainly been on the Chieftains' side.
Just feels like they've been a lot more consistent, starting in really the bottom of the second. But since
that one was going to be called a strike on the swing.
It's certainly more the more dynamic team here as of late. And part of that feels like errors on the Cards' part that were certainly avoidable. Part of it feels like maybe a couple of poor pitches that have given the Chieftains a bit of life running, but...
Well, yeah, and this one ripped down the line, but foul. The third run for the Chieftains definitely was an unnecessary one for the Cards. There was the ball 4 wild pitch, let the run score, but then the throw back to the plate also getting away, letting a third run score. It's one they really would have liked to have had back.
That one will hurt for a little while for sure, especially if the Cards are unable to dig themselves out of the hole tonight.
This one will be hit shallow and high to, wow, right next to the mound actually, where that one's brought in by Burling for out number 2.
Guards a good bit of urgency here defensively thus far in the 5th to try to keep themselves
now batting the catcher, number 13, Baron Dorn.
Out of trouble of giving up more runs here. Because as you said, the way the game is played out, only being down 3 runs is not a death sentence to him at this point in the game.
Dorn hit a single up the middle last time.
But if you're the Cards, you will be wanting the momentum to change hands pretty quickly here. And that all starts with Decker finding that zone a little bit more.
The pitch to the catcher is going to catch him, and that will load the bases with 2 down. A second hit batter in this game from Decker, and there is some real pressure from the Chieftains.
And that's almost as big of a key point as anything for the Chieftains. Is even if that doesn't necessarily give you runs, it's the pressure you're applying to Decker, who already, and no guarantee, but you think he could be in his head a little bit already from how hot he started the game and the dry spell that he's been on since then. Extra pressure on his shoulders from the mound is going to be something the Chieftains will take all day long, and they will gather on the mound here briefly before the next at-bat.
There's going to be a courtesy runner for Dorn at first. Kalen Battle will step in. But yeah, there is a mound visit here. This could potentially be the end of Decker's day, but they might be talking about how does he feel if he wants to try and deal with the situation himself. But he's going to have to come out soon no matter what. He's pushing up against the pitch count. And it also has been a bit of a struggle for him as of late, so there's not much left for him, but the Cards will leave him out there to try and dig himself out of the hole that he's in. That's something that a lot of pitchers love to do. They're a bit crazy. Most of the pitchers that I've ever talked to, they love to be in the tough spot, and especially actually if it's of their own doing, they want to get themselves out of it. They don't want to hand that responsibility off to someone else. But it is going to be a matchup with the 6'6" Merrick Davenport, the future Blue Devil over in KCK, and he's going to hit it up the middle, and he will drive in at least 1 run, probably more. Taking the turn is Morenz at third, and it will be a 2 RBI single for the first baseman. The Chieftains are now up by 5.
Man, I mean, what a hit from Davenport, where Bartlett comes in and just finds that zone perfectly. I mean, that's something that Chieftains have done well today. All of their biggest hits have come from either just to the right or the left of second base, and ripped yet another one that's got to feel close to backbreaking for the Cardinals.
First couple runs driven in on the season for Davenport. And is now digging in is Marcouillet. That one fouled. Interesting to see at this point how long they keep Decker in there, because they're looking at the pitch count limit, but this also is a game, even though it's not going great, it's still within reach. You don't want to let it get too much further, but you also want to try and let Decker find himself. He's a great pitcher. It's the first game of the season. You want him to try and be comfortable, but maybe the best way for it to do that would be to just let him get out of this game. And that one is going to drop off of the glove of Ross. Battle will come in to score. It is 6 for the Chieftains, 3 in this inning.
Yeah, and for Decker, it's a fine line to toe because on the one hand, you want to let him get warm and get pitches underneath him. But at the same time, you look at the scoreboard and you wonder, is it worth keeping that arm in, or do we tell him to rest it up and we'll see him in a couple of days? The Chieftains here showing no signs of relenting.
That one's a tough one to score there, Hayden. I'm going to put it down as a hit because it was in a real tough spot for Ross, but I could easily see you want to score that one as an error. Either goes right off his glove. He will say that he would have liked to have done better with that one.
Absolutely.
Either way, the run scores, and now taking off for second is Mark Coulier, and Robson won't even try and deal with it.
You almost don't even take the chance of the error turning into something bigger there.
Yeah, he moves up on defensive indifference there.
And Davenport just vibing over there on third base. Kind of just jogging loops after each pitch, threatening himself to score over on that side. Davenport is in clear view of Decker, of course.
And this one will be bounced over to short. Klein will field it. And it's and Burling can't pick it over at first. But then at the plate, there's a tag, and the inning is over as Mark Coulier is caught trying to score, but the Chieftains do grab another. So they score 4 in the inning to make it a 7-0 lead here.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong?
Maybe you belong here, studying animal science or learning about farm and ranch management. Maybe you belong here as part of Hounds Hoops on the hardwood. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
At Kansas Insurance, we know one size doesn't fit all. In fact, our whole mindset is based on customized policies for you and your families. We're local, and we do what we do because we care about you. Think of us as brokers for your insurance needs. Working with Kansas Insurance.
Okay. Back here, bottom of the 6th. The Cards in a pretty deep hole now here in the season opener. Here in the bottom of the 5th. 7-0 is the score, and this one is going to be hit up the middle, and it's going to be fielded by Maslak. Close play at first, and he is called out. A good throw from Maslak there. Takes a hit away from Arnold.
Now batting for Eudora, number 3, Ethan Ross.
So the next man up is Ross, the senior.
Struck out swinging his first trip. Been many a Cardinal to go down. And this one is going to be hit out to center, and that one will allow Ross to reach. So a runner on first
now
with one away.
The Cardinals, number 24, Jack Klein.
It'll be the shortstop, Jack Klein. He's walked and struck out in this game. There have been a lot of those 2 true outcomes, 2 of the 4 true outcomes. Lots of walking and striking out in this game for both teams.
That one fouls out and off to the right.
For the Cards, they have issued 3 walks and struck out 5. And for the Chieftains, they've issued 4 walks and struck out 10. Compare that to only 3 hits given up by the Chieftains. 3 hits given up by the Chieftains and 6 hits given up by the Cards. Klein turns this one around into right center. That one's going to drop. And taking the turn is Ross. He'll head to second. Klein will hold up. So there will be runners at the corners with 1 away.
Cards find themselves in the best position they've been in on the bases all day long.
Now batting for the Cardinals,
if you ignore the loaded bases in the
McCleary.
first inning. But a lot has transpired since then, so for the Cards, that breakthrough has got to feel pretty solid off the very nice hit from Klein.
So now McCleary steps in. He singled in his last trip. He was picked off back at third base to end the 3rd inning. It was a line drive to right field that got him his hit. He will look to try and drop this one down on a bunt, though, and be called strike 1 there. Cards just trying to get their first run on the board here any way possible. That one had some nice movement on it, but was always going to be a ball. 1-1.
And Holland, a pretty nice job here in his trip in, pitching a couple of innings at it now.
That one catches the outside part of the zone.
So he puts himself up 1-2.
The 2-strike pitch, runners at the corners, and McCleary swings right through it. He is out number 2, and an 11th strikeout of a Eudora batter.
Man, I mean, how improbable that sentence sounds after the way this game started off for the Chieftains pitching. The fact that Bartlett, who started, would turn things around so massively in his own right, and then Holland, very, very solid in relief since then.
Well, and also that this batter, Decker, had his day start so well. He was getting ahead of every batter.
Every single one.
And it feels like he's just been behind in the count ever since.
I want to say his first 4 at-bats all started, or opposing at-bats, he started up on the count in all 4. And that seems like a far cry from the game he played since then.
He has walked and struck out in his 2 trips. And that one low, and moving up is Klein.
So he'll scoot on up to second. Brief conversation between Dorn and Holland up on the mound.
Ahead here in the count, 2-0. In a game where there have been many free bases issued, Decker might try and play conservatively, but he's also got a good hitter's count here, so he will take a big swing on that one. But a swing and a miss there. Runners at second and third just need a single to make a decent cut into this deficit. With 2 down, any runs coming across would feel pretty good for the Cards. And now the count goes to 3-1. Maybe they could load the bases for Burling, the first baseman.
A little bit of eye candy given for Holland over on third.
And a big hack there makes the count go full.
Nice opportunity for Decker to have the freedom to go after those last couple of pitches. Pressure mounting a little more here. Interesting to see how Holland approaches the full count.
Full count, 2 outs. Decker needs to protect. And that one will bounce, and it's actually going to get away. The Cards will get their first run of the game, as a wild pitch, ball 4, allows Ross to come in and score.
And they will keep runners on both corners. Their first run of the day. So a nice sequence there for the Cards to get themselves a little bit of good news after a few innings of nothing but dry spells.
So Burling comes in with runners at the corners, and the Cards already having one in on the inning. They have a chance here to make some real progress potentially, but with 2 down, it would have to be Burling, or I suppose he could reach and then set it up for Grado, but one of those two needs to make a play here for the Cards offensively. Calling time is Burling.
Yeah, this is a real opportunity. If Burling able to catch a piece of this one, Holland, a fair bit of pressure. As you said, these pitchers tend to like these situations.
Burling goes down to get to that one and foul it back. He, like many batters in this game, has walked and struck out in his 2 trips. The 1-1 from Holland is fouled back. Ahrens is over at first base, courtesy running for Decker, and he was dancing down the line there. The 2-strike pitch curves in there, strike 3.
Wow.
Burling goes down looking, 2 runners stranded for the Cards, but they do get 1 across. They are down by 6 as we go to the 6th.
At Kansas Insurance, we know one size doesn't fit all. In fact, our whole mindset is based on customized policies for you and your families. We're local, and we do what we do because we care about you. Think of us as brokers for your insurance needs. Working with Kansas Insurance gets you the award-winning service and attention to detail that only an independent agency can provide. All across Kansas, we're here to help you manage and plan for all types of risk. Contact a local agent today. Kansas Insurance. Local, independent, service.
For the best care for your pet, choose DeSoto Veterinary Clinic. Dr. Matt Fair and his team are dedicated to providing high-quality medical care with compassion and a personal touch. They treat every pet as their own, ensuring they receive the attention and respect they deserve. For routine checkups, testing, vaccinations, chiropractic and acupuncture care, or surgical services, you can trust Dr. Fair and his team at DeSoto Veterinary Clinic. Call 913-585-1115 to schedule an appointment today or visit DeSotoVetClinic.com.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here, preparing for a career in healthcare as part of Fort Scott Community College's nursing program. Or maybe you belong on stage as part of the Hounds band or theater department. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
Prescription drug pricing points to corporate
Freedom of the press.
All right, so we get started on the top of the 6th. The Cards have put a run on the board. It looks like we might be having something change to the Tongi lineup. There's been a long conversation between their coach and the home plate ump, but I haven't seen no indication of anything just yet, and it will be Beal digging in the 8th spot in the order. He has popped out both times.
Third baseman number 9, Evan Beal.
I was mentioning before, he is in his first year of varsity baseball, was a big contributor on their JV team last year, and here in his senior season is in that varsity lineup for them. Cards still standing by Decker because they've already crossed over into the range where they need to rest him for 4 days. So seems like they are just going to get everything that they can get out of him.
Yep.
One and 2 on Beal. Now home plate ump calling time here, and going to be a conversation with Decker. Oh, might be holding his arm here. This could spell some bad news for the Cards, and that is going to do it for Decker. Seemingly might be an emergency exit here, which is not good news for him or the Cards. And that will be the end of his day in the middle of this at-bat. So that ends his stat line here with 5 innings pitched. He gave up 6 hits, 7 runs, 6 of them earned, 3 walks, struck out 5, hit a couple of batters, and threw a couple wild pitches. Collectively, the Chieftains hit .316 against him. We will go ahead and go to a break, and when we're back, we will talk about the new pitcher and resume this top of the 6th inning.
Prescription drug pricing points to corporate
Freedom of the press is about your right to know. It's about your right to be informed. Today, there are real threats to press freedom and your right to know about the world around us. We must protect our right to know, no matter what kind of news is important to you. Before it's too late, understand the threats. ProtectPressFreedom.org.
Charlie was born at LMH. We had a great team of nurses. Not only did they check in on us regularly, they always asked if we had questions, always made sure that we understood what was going on. I cannot say enough wonderful things about the labor and delivery, family birthing, and mother baby care team at LMH Health. We had to put our entire trust into their hands, and just everyone was so friendly and so supportive.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here as part of Fort Scott Community College's John Deere Tech program. Maybe you belong here as part of the perennial playoff-bound Greyhound baseball team. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
Your home for live, local sports. Varsity Sports Live delivers professional level coverage with high-quality video and broadcasters that know your schools and community.
Touchdown, Tonganoxie!
With the support of local businesses.
All right, back in here for the top of the 6th. The new pitcher is Riley Nice.
Number 11, Riley Nice.
Hoping it's not too bad of news for Braden Decker, who had to leave in a hurry after hitting 90 pitches in this game. Nice. Last year, through 18 innings, made a couple starts, had an 0-1 record, a 7 ERA. And he's going to throw 1 strike and get the strikeout because he entered into a 1-2 count. So Beal is down on strikes versus 2 pitchers, but it goes down on the stat sheet as Nice's strikeout.
Now batting for Tonganoxie, number 12, Landon Bartlett.
So that brings in Bartlett. This game's starting pitcher will face the reliever for the Cards. A number that I like to look at for a pitcher is the whip, which is walks plus hits per innings pitched. So how many times did you let guys get on base? Nice had a 222 whip last year, so that would say on average in an inning he let up a couple runners on base. But collectively, batters against him only hit 215. So he was a decent arm on the mound, and we'll hope to have a more prolific season here. And this one will be hit out to center. McCleary will track that one and bring it in for out number 2. Some efficient work from Nice. 4 pitches, 2 outs.
That's some very efficient work from him. He's opened up pretty strong and well
now
here.
Batting for the Chieftains, number 2,
You're not
Bodie
looking
Maslak.
at a huge opportunity to dig yourself out of this hole, but if he keeps pitching this way, they will certainly give themselves another crack at trying to get closer.
So Maslak digs in now against the new pitcher. He has struck out twice and then had a sacrifice hit in his most recent trip. Didn't seem like that one necessarily crossed up Robson, but
no,
didn't get all the way to it, so it goes to the backstop. None on, so it doesn't really matter. 1-1. Here's the next pitch, and that one will be hit right back to him on the mound. He bobbles it for a second, gathers, and then throws it away. That one is going to go into shallow right. So Maslak will move up to second base on the infield hit and then the error. Or maybe just you might just call it a two-base error.
Yep. Man, that one got to nice. Looked like it surprised him just a little bit because he didn't quite get a clean hand to it. And then the pass over to first just a little bit low. Just a handful of errors that you can't afford to make in this kind of game tonight for the Cards.
Nice, still just fresh into the game. Might have something to do with that one.
For
but also,
sure.
pitchers tend to have a hard time throwing over to first. It's somewhat inexplicable, but it is also a very common thing. That one, I'm going to mark it down as a two-base error there, a second error against the Cards in the game. Now Morenz is batting with that runner in scoring position. Oh, and 2 here for Nice.
Goes up big early on in this at-bat. He certainly looked very good in relief tonight for the next matchup for the Cards. Gives him something to look forward to if he is the one to start off on the mound.
And that one's in there, a second strikeout for Nice in relief, and that will end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 6th, score 7-1.
Your home for live, local sports. Varsity Sports Live delivers professional level coverage with high-quality video and broadcasters that know your schools and community.
Touchdown, Tonganoxie!
With the support of local businesses, you never pay to watch varsity sports. Live, local, free high school sports coverage. That's Varsity Sports Live.
Grasp, gets it away, Moore's down the middle, and he makes the catch in the end zone. Touchdown, Trojans!
Keep up with the action at varsitysportslive.com. Live, local, free high school sports.
Are you looking for a trusted partner in pet care? Look no further than Eudora Animal Hospital, proudly serving Eudora and the surrounding area since 1975. Eudora Animal Hospital offers a wide range of services, including wellness exams, surgeries, routine vaccinations, and emergency care.
I just want to thank everybody in the community for trusting us with the care of their animals, and go Cards!
Schedule an appointment by calling 785-542-3265 or visit eudoravet.com.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here as part of Fort Scott Community College's John Deere Tech program. Maybe you belong here as part of the perennial playoff-bound Greyhound baseball team. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
Prescription drug pricing points to corporate
Freedom of the press is about your right to know. It's about your right to be informed. Today, there are real threats to press freedom and your right to know about the world around us. We must protect our right to know, no matter what kind of news is important to you. Before it's too late, understand the threats. ProtectPressFreedom.org.
Your home for live, local sports. Varsity Sports Live delivers professional level coverage with high-quality video and broadcasters that know your schools and community.
Touchdown, Tonganoxie!
With the support of local businesses, you never pay to watch varsity sports. Live, local, free high school sports coverage. That's Varsity Sports Live.
Grasp, gets it away, Moore's down the middle, and he makes the catch in the end zone. Touchdown, Trojans!
Keep up with the action at varsitysportslive.com. Live.
All right, lots of movement here for the Chieftains. The first premier of which being the Dorn, the catcher, is now pitching. And it will be Grado up to bat versus the new arm for the Chieftains. Holland goes back out to short where he started this game. Rush, who replaced him at short, back to second. And there's a lot more, honestly. Maslak has gone from right to second, or from second to center, excuse me. And I'm actually not even sure who is behind the plate because his catcher's gear covers up his number too much for me to be sure. I think it was 15. We'll find out at some point. And that one's going to be ripped into, oh my word, what a snag over there. Or no, did that one get through? That one did get through, excuse me.
Okay.
I thought that Davenport might have snagged that one, but that one ripped into right field. So a leadoff hit from Grado. That was a liner.
Now batting for Eudora,
That was a
number
beautiful
14, Cam Robson.
So it's Robson up next.
Getting dark out here. A little tough to see exactly where that ball went, but Grado ripped it into right. He's on to lead off the 6th for the catcher, Robson, who singled in his last trip.
Well, that hit for Grado running right along the horizontal fence line in front of us certainly didn't make things any easier.
This is a first pitching appearance on the year for Dorn. Remember, even though it is the Cardinals season opener, the Chieftains played a couple games. They come in 1-1.
They look to add another big-time victory to the tally tonight, unless the Cards have some more in them to show for it.
This one will be popped out of play foul, out of the reach for anybody in Tongi colors.
Looked as if it may touch us here in the box. It did not.
Yeah, Nebraska, I'd like to see it. Fun.
The 1-2 taken in there, strike 3.
Wow.
Cardinals continuing to go down on strikes and a lot of times not even swinging the bat.
Now, there have been a lot of strikes, a lot of strikeouts even that have completely gone by.
Now batting for
You wonder how much of that to attribute to early on in the season, how much of it you look to as some crafty pitching on the Tonganoxie side of the mound, making it tough to get a read on. Yet another one.
Bartmus will hit here for the Cards.
And it's yet another strike. Goes by without a swing for Eudora.
Bartmus stands in for Giffen, who was 0 for 2 with a couple strikeouts.
That one ripped over to left field. Goes up and over the fence for foul.
So Dorn, the catcher, who was having to do a lot of work early in this game, now getting to be the one dishing to the plate. 0-2 here. He has Bartmus, and he will get him down on 3 pitches. 2 strikeouts for the new Tonganoxie pitcher.
And Tonganoxie, no shortage of arms that can come out and get K's tonight, as they've done it now with 3 different arms through just 6 innings here.
And this one hit over to third. Beal will field it and throw across the diamond, and it gets away. So Arnold will reach. Grado will take off for third. There's going to be runners at second and third with 2 down after the error from Beal.
Very nicely done. And now a bit of opportunity presents itself
Now
here for the Cards.
Cardinals, number 3, Ethan
2 down
Ross.
already, of course. Which means it will need to be a solid AB from Ross. Of course, if you were to walk and load, you could have the next Cardinal up in the AB to do it.
Ross will dribble this one over to Beal. He'll get a chance at redemption, fires across the diamond, and this time does make the play onto Davenport at first. So the runners stranded at second and third. Our score still 7-1.
Your home for live local sports. Varsity Sports Live delivers professional level coverage with high quality video and broadcasters that know your schools and community.
Touchdown, Tonganoxie!
With the support of local businesses, you never pay to watch varsity sports. Live, local, free high school sports coverage. That's Varsity Sports Live.
Grass gets it away. Moore's down the middle. And he makes the catch in the end zone. Touchdown, Trojans!
Keep up with the action at varsitysportslive.com. Live, local, free high school sports.
At Kansas Insurance, we know one size doesn't fit all. In fact, our whole mindset is based on customized policies for you and your families. We're local, and we do what we do because we care about you. Think of us as brokers for your insurance needs. Working with Kansas Insurance gets you the award-winning service and attention to detail that only an independent agency can provide. All across Kansas, we're here to help you manage and plan for all types of risk. Contact a local agent today. Kansas Insurance. Local, independent, serving you.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong?
Maybe you belong here, studying animal science or learning about farm and ranch management. Maybe you belong here as part of Hounds Hoops on the hardwood. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
All right, top of the 7th here.
Holland.
Nice will continue to work here against Holland. The shortstop turned pitcher turned shortstop. Who bunts that one foul. Nice struck out a couple batters in his first inning of work, one of which only took one pitch because he entered in to a 1-2 count. He also committed that 2-base error that allowed Maslak to reach second base, but did not give up a hit in that first inning of work. That was an emergency call to relieve the starter.
That one sent way up, going to give an opportunity here.
And Robson does not bring that one in foul territory.
Strike 2, right?
As far as I'm aware, you don't score errors on dropped fouls, but that is still an erroneous play and a free out there given away for the Cards. But it does go as strike 2, so the 0-2 count, and that one's high. Holland has struck out, walked, and then popped out to first in his most recent trip. The 1-2 from Nice, that one over the head of the batter. Count evens.
Yeah, Nice has done a good job to get close to the zone tonight. He's definitely been a little off the mark he'd like to find, but he has threatened it a lot.
That'll be his third strikeout here in relief. They called it on the swing there, trying to hold up, but he could not. So that is the first out here in the 7th inning.
And his solid night continues.
Now batting for the Chieftains, number 13, Barron.
So it'll be Dorn from behind the plate, the catcher a lot of the day, who will come back up for the Chieftains.
Yeah, now the pitcher. He was hit by the pitch in his most recent trip and singled the first time, so he has reached both times thus far.
He's going to try to prevent that from being a trifecta of a night to reach the plate. Puts that one just a little bit high.
Dorn up 2-0. The pitch from Nice, and that one fouled off the mask of the umpire, knocks off his mask. That's what it's there for. Thankfully, he's all right.
I feel like it's in the way, it's in the way, it's in the way, until you're really grateful you got it.
And now actually going to be a bit of a meeting here. I think also in order to give some time to the home plate ump, make sure he's feeling all right.
For sure.
But Davenport and the batter Dorn talk things over with their coach before the 2-1. Nice shakes off the catcher and now steps off.
Looking to catch up to Dorn here.
The 2-1, and now the count evens on the swing and miss from the pitcher.
So Dorn now some stress on him. Said he's reached the plate both times today.
Nice.
And he'll catch that one.
That one's going to be hit into left field, and that will drop a second hit today for Dorn. So after Nice worked it from 2-0 to 2-2, he could not put the batter away, and there's a one-out base runner for Tonganoxie.
Now batting number 11, Merrick Davenport.
So now 11 on 11. Nice has to face Davenport. The senior's had a solid night in his own right here, but the first one go just outside the zone.
Davenport has 2 walks in this game, a fly out and a single up the middle. And this one's going to be hit to the opposite way, and Klein was able to bring that one in. A bit of an awkward looking play there. It was awkward all around because I don't think that Davenport was even trying to hit it that direction.
Yeah, for sure.
Came off a weird part of the bat, but Klein did bring it in.
And Klein's still a little bit wobbled over there at the short
Now
spot.
batting number 26, Zach Marcoulier.
So 2 down here with the runner at first, and Marcoulier comes back up. Strikeout, ground out, and a single. And that one, a bit of a generous call there. Certainly felt like that one was outside on the away part of the plate, but nice. Gets the call, and he's up 1-0. And now 0-2. And that one missed. You might feel like maybe it's a bit of a makeup call for the first pitch of this at bat.
Sure. Let's just say things tend to even themselves out.
So now the 1-2 from Nice, and that one also called a ball. So the count evens here, 2-2. Runner goes on the 2-2 pitch, which is fouled back. Another 2-2 loops high for a ball. All 3 of those balls have been close to the top of the zone, but not close enough.
Yeah, Nice has got to feel like he's maybe throwing an extra strike or 2 worthy ball here.
So the count full, the runner goes, and that is fouled back again. The at-bat continues.
So Marcoulier survives, continues to keep himself alive here, but...
Well, he's done a bit of work, and so has the ump to keep this at-bat alive. Runner's going to be in motion again with the 3-2 two-out pitch.
And Nice eagerly searching for a way to put Marcoulier away here.
The quick leg and throw home, and ball 4 is the call there. There was a lot of pitches that could have maybe been the final blow of that AB, but in the end, from 0-2, Marcoulier works the walk. So Tough Rush will come up with runners at first and second.
Rush been fairly impressive tonight and gives himself another opportunity to go to work.
Took a big hack there at the first pitch, falls behind 0-2. He singled in his first AB, struck out, and then reached on an error most recently. And this one will be bounced over to second. Ross will glove it, fire on to first, and the inning ends there. So 2 stranded by the Chieftains. Cards coming up, down by 6.
For the best care for your pet, choose DeSoto Veterinary Clinic. Dr. Matt Fair and his team are dedicated to providing high-quality medical care with compassion and a personal touch. They treat every pet as their own, ensuring they receive the attention and respect they deserve. For routine checkups, testing, vaccinations, chiropractic and acupuncture care, or surgical services, you can trust Dr. Fair and his team at DeSoto Veterinary Clinic. Call 913-585-1115 to schedule an appointment today or visit DeSotoVetClinic.com.
More time before you wake up in the wild.
Our natural world needs us now. Step by step, side by side, together, we can find a way to ensure that all life on Earth can thrive. To learn more about how you can help protect and conserve nature, visit nature.org.
Charlie was born at LMH. We had a great team of nurses. Not only did they check in on us regularly, they always asked if we had questions, always made sure that we understood what was going on. I cannot say enough wonderful things about the labor and delivery, family birthing, and mother baby care team at LMH Health. We had to put our entire trust into their hands, and just everyone was so friendly and so supportive.
All right, for the final time here, bottom of the 7th inning, Klein will dig in for the Cards. It's 1, 2, and 3. 3 was originally Decker, so they might bring Nice to the plate or bring someone else in. We'll see who hits in the 3rd spot of this inning. But Klein is down 0-1. He has walked, struck out, and singled. Quickly down 0-2 as Dorn continues to work here. Dorn in his first inning of work gave up 1 hit, struck out a couple, and stranded a couple by the end of the inning. Three, and that's going to be strike 3 on Klein.
Wow.
So a 3rd K from Dorn in relief. And these Cardinals continue to go down and go down looking, which is just a tough pill to swallow. You'd have to think, if you're a fan, if you're a coach, even if you're one of the players, why leave it in the umpire's hands? At least go down swinging. The Cardinals have struck out 15 times in this game.
And they will take a swing there, but yeah, if you're watching this game, or especially sitting here in the stands physically, you got to be thinking, man, why aren't you taking some swings here? And, you know, that's a guaranteed strikeout, but also a lot of these have been good in the zone. So leaving it to the umpire likely gives you a similar result. At this point in the bottom of the 7th, take some swings.
This is Houston Carnegie, who swung and missed there. Umpire and coach getting that all sorted out. He comes in place for McCleary. The 0-1 to Carnegie. He swings at this one and fouls that one out of play. Maybe his job coming in off the bench was just swing.
I mean, not like there's a whole lot to lose in this spot. If you can get some of that, some of that big-time power behind the plate, may as well.
And I suppose a bit of it has got to be that the Chieftains were walking batters early, that maybe that sort of made the Cardinals want to take more pitches. But at this point, it's been a long while since that's been a struggle for them. And the Cards just continue to strike out, but at least he goes down swinging. But 16 times the Cardinals have been struck out in this game. And they are now down to their final out.
And that's going to bring up, it appears Riley Nice will be the next man up.
Yep.
Perhaps the final man up
Now
for the Cards here.
for the Cardinals, number 11, Riley Nice.
The emergency relief pitcher, Riley Nice, who's done a solid job. Called in after Decker had to leave with an injury. But Decker's day was nearing its end either way, so I imagine that
this was
Nice knew that he was going to be coming in, but it just was a little bit earlier than expected.
For sure. Pretty timely entry for him. So Carnegie brought in with 1 goal. Take some swings. Nice to see if he can likely do some of the same and connect on what Carnegie couldn't.
Takes the first one for a ball. The Cards do need base runners at this point, but I think at this point you'd like to just see a bit of a different approach. When you've struck out 16 times as a team, let's see something a little different, you know?
Yep. Some other signs of life, and Nice again steps out of the way of that one.
Works ahead 2-0. Might find himself a pitch to hit. And that one now finds the zone. Maybe You could think of it as the at-bat sort of beginning now. If you're going to wait until Doran hits the zone. 2-1 count. And Nice does hack at that one, and now the Cards down to their final strike. Nice called in as a relief pitcher in this game, hitting in the 3 spot. The Cards have struck out 16 times in this game. The 2-2 from Dorn. Swung on and missed, make it 17 strikeouts of the Cards this game. They just never were able to feel comfortable at the plate, only getting 1 across to the Chieftains 7. They lose their season opener. The Chieftains move to 2-1. We will go ahead and go to a break, and then we will give you stats and wrap this one up when we're back after this.
Are you looking for a trusted partner in pet care? Look no further than Eudora Animal Hospital, proudly serving Eudora and the surrounding area since 1975. Eudora Animal Hospital offers a wide range of services, including wellness exams, surgeries, routine vaccinations, and emergency care.
I just want to thank everybody in the community for trusting us with the care of their animals, and go Dogs!
Schedule an appointment by calling 785-542-3265 or visit eudoravet.com.
More time before you wake up in the wild.
Our natural world needs us now. Step by step, side by side, together, we can find a way to ensure that all life on Earth can thrive. To learn more about how you can help protect and conserve nature, visit nature.org.
Your home for live, local sports. Varsity Sports Live delivers professional level coverage with high-quality video and broadcasters that know your schools and community.
Touchdown, Tonganoxie!
With the support of local businesses, you never pay to watch varsity sports. Live, local, free high school sports coverage. That's Varsity Sports Live.
Grass gets it away. Moore's down the middle. And he makes the catch in the end zone. Touchdown, Trojans!
Keep up with the action at varsitysportslive.com. Live, local, free high school sports.
Charlie was born at LMH. We had a great team of nurses. Not only did they check in on us regularly, they always asked if we had questions, always made sure that we understood what was going on. I cannot say enough wonderful things about the labor and delivery, family birthing, and mother baby care team at LMH Health. We had to put our entire trust into their hands, and just everyone was so friendly and so supportive.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here as part of Fort Scott Community College's John Deere Tech program. Maybe you belong here as part of the perennial playoff-bound Greyhound baseball team. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
Are you looking for a trusted partner in pet care? Look no further than Eudora Animal Hospital, proudly serving Eudora and the surrounding area since 1975. Eudora Animal Hospital offers a wide range of services, including wellness exams, surgeries, routine vaccinations, and emergency care.
I just want to thank everybody in the community for trusting us with the care of their animals, and go Dogs!
Schedule an appointment by calling 785-542-3265 or visit eudoravet.com.
All right, welcome in here to the post-game show brought to us by Eudora Animal Hospital. So it was a 7-1 final score here. The Chieftains getting the win. The Cardinals drop their opening game. Last year they were able to get the win. It ended up being one of only 7 wins on the year. But this year, not off to the same start. The loss here at home, and their All-State honorable mention, Braden Decker, had a rough night on the mound and also left injured. Hopefully nothing too serious for their pitcher. And the number that jumps off the page at you is the 17 strikeouts, 10 of which were looking. You think about, we played a 7-inning game. That's 21 outs. Only 4 times that the Cardinals were put out was not by way of the strikeout. They were just really having a hard time getting going at the plate. They were walked a lot early, and maybe that sort of lulled them into some sort of false sense of security, but the Chieftains really picked it up. Last year's regional 4A champions. They went 16-12. They went to state. Coach Loomis, in his 15th year, has gotten the win here over the Cards. So, looking back at the stats here was an interesting one. Actually, first I'll throw it to you, Hayden. What do you make of this game and the way that this one went, and just also the context that it's the first game for the Cards this year?
Yeah, I mean, because of that context of it being the first game, I don't want to put too much stake in anything that we saw tonight because, you know, as you mentioned, the first inning in particular looked really, really strong. The Cardinals looked the better of the two teams, and you know, Braden Decker in particular was pitching extremely well, was finding his marks, was going up really 2-0 on a lot of his early series, and just as the game went on, kind of went cold, and Tonganoxie started picking up their pitching a bit, and their own hitting improved as the pitching for the Cards kind of deteriorated midway through. But I think it was a strong showing for them despite some of the misses, because it gives you a lot to work with based on, all right, we saw from this game, we know that however they were approaching their hitting across the course of the game just wasn't playing out very well. And as you said, you know, as Nice and Carnegie came up later in the 7th, you just start looking for what can you do differently to start improving on those, and it'll give them quite a bit to go back to the drawing board on, a lot of material to go off of to improve. And same thing, you want to improve on it, but as your first game of the year, you know you're going to get more reps, you know everything is going to start clicking a little bit smoother, and this Tonganoxie Chieftain team, not only a very good unit overall, but a lot of really strong players across the board. So I don't think it was a poor showing for the Cards tonight. I think you just met a really good team, and they had a little bit of that stagnant stretch that you just can't have against teams of this caliber.
Yeah, I mean, the Cards early on were looking so great. There was that bottom of the first. They had bases loaded, 1 out. You're thinking, man, things are going really, really well.
Right.
But in the end, by the 4th inning, the Chieftains had worked 3 runs across the plate. A couple coming from an error or a wild pitch and an error. It really felt like they kind of stumbled those 3 runs across. You're thinking, man, 3 runs.
Sure.
And, you know, Cardinals could easily get back into this one. But that 5th inning turned into a 4 spot for the Chieftains, and the Cards hurt themselves with 3 errors in this game. And they ended up getting the 1 run, but that was not close to enough after giving up the 7 there to the Chieftains. Let's look here through the stat sheet first. For the Cardinals, Klein went 1 for 3 with the walk. McCleary also went 1 for 3. Carnegie 0 for 1 pinch hitting. The pitcher Decker 0 for 1 with a couple walks. Nice went 0 for 1. Burling 0 for 2 with the walk. Grado 1 for 2 with the walk. Robson 1 for 3. Giffen 0 for 2. Bartmus 0 for 1. Arnold 0 for 3. And Ross 1 for 3 with the lone run being scored by him. McCleary stole a base. Grado was caught stealing. And for my sheet, these are just like basketball season, unofficial, and errors are completely subjective. For me, I had Klein, Nice, and Robson hit with errors in the game. Decker, the starter, man, he looked great at the start of it, but it just fell off for him at the end. He was having a hard time hitting the zone, and then even worse, left holding that pitching elbow. Could be really bad news for him. He went 5 solid innings, 6 hits, 7 runs, 6 of them earned, struck out 5 and walked 3. And then Nice came in 2 innings of work, allowing only 1 hit of scoreless ball, struck out 3 and walked 1. Decker threw a couple wild pitches and hit a couple batters. Now on the Tongi side of things, their leadoff hitter Maslak 0 for 3 with a couple strikeouts. Morenz 1 for 3, scored a run. Holland 0 for 3, walked and scored a run. Davenport 1 for 3, 2 walks, 2 runs scored, and 2 runs driven in. Dorn went 2 for 2 with a run scored. Marcoulier 1 for 3, drove in a run and walked. Rush 1 for 4 with an RBI. Beal went 0 for 3, and Bartlett went 1 for 3 with a run scored. Morenz and Dorn each hit by a pitch. Davenport stole a base, and Beal had an error. The starter, Bartlett, gets the win. 3 innings of work. He struck out 8 batters, only walked 3 in the end, and that was those 3 that were in that bases loaded situation. After that, he absolutely turned it on. I think he struck out. I think the next 8 batters, the next 8 outs which he recorded were by the strikeout. And through his 9 innings of work, 8 of the 9 outs were strikeouts. Then Holland came in, 2 innings pitched, allowed 3 hits, 1 earned run, struck out 4, walked a couple, and then Dorn went the final 2 of 1 hit, scoreless ball, striking out 5 in the process. Holland and Bartlett each threw a couple wild pitches. So that is the stats for this one, how this one all played out. The errors pretty costly for the Cards. They were just at some poor times, but really it just fell apart for Decker on the mound. It didn't fall apart so drastically, but it fell apart too much, especially if you're only getting 1 run in support. And the Chieftains really just were able to pile on. They just did a good job of taking extra bases on the backside of plays and turning it into runs, better than the Cards. I think for a long time the Cards played better baseball, but they did not turn it into any runs for a long time there. And that is not a recipe for success, but I think there are some good things to build on. I think Nice's performance out of the pen was very good.
It was.
And there was some decent stuff there at the plate, but definitely you cannot strike out 17 times. You got to, and 10 of them looking is a real shocking number. You just can't do it. Take a swing, and if there was some inconsistent calls at the plate, but I don't think that too many of them were on punch-out pitches.
No.
There were some that it was just in the middle of the count type stuff. And so, I don't know. It was an interesting night there for the Cards. It's their first game of the season. Hopefully they can build on it. Looking to the future for them, their next game is on the 30th against Bonner Springs in a doubleheader. And we will be broadcasting, but not that game. We'll be covering softball as they have a doubleheader against Bonner Springs. We will be doing that one. And then the next baseball broadcast here on Eudora Sports Live is April 14th against Spring Hill. Meanwhile, for the victors here tonight, Tonganoxie, their next game is on the 27th as they go to Burlington for a tournament. It'll be their second tournament, or they played it. Yeah, they played at the Classic, the Jerry Helm Memorial Classic earlier this season. So they're going to a tournament in Burlington, a chance early on in this year to try and get some hardware in the spring for the Chieftains. They are 2-1 on the year. The Cards have fallen to 0-1. I think we're going to go ahead and sign it off here. Hayden, is anything else to say before we get out of here?
Not a whole lot. We're glad to be here for Spring Sports. We got a lot of fun broadcasts on the horizon, and it's going to be a fun one to call. But that's tonight, true. You've summed it up pretty well.
Should talk about we've got a few games there. We'll be covering 3 softball games, a second baseball game, and 2 soccer games here this spring. Spring coverage a little more thin with the way the way that it all works out, but we will get to bring you a few games, a little bit of each of the seasons going on for the Cards so you can get a taste of what is going on here in Eudora. But yeah, that will do it here. It is good to have baseball back, and there will be some better days for the Cards in the near future, as it is always great to have baseball and especially softball around here.
For sure.
Softball is a fantastic sport for the Cards, and that will be a fun one to get to bring. But don't overlook baseball. They've got some good players. And I think that they could have a good season, but not off to the best of starts here, especially depending on the health of Decker. That could really determine how a lot of the season ends up looking.
For sure.
So we'll have to see what the news for him ends up being. But yes, that will do it here. Thank you so much for tuning in. For Hayden Harves and myself, Reed McAvoy, go Cardinals, and have a good night.
From the gridiron to the hardcourt, the pitch to the mat, don't miss any of the action. We're there with live, local sports coverage at VarsitySportsLive.com.